You know, Christians, your Bible is so wicked, it actually condones raping another woman. Hold on, not so fast. Let's talk about this. Hello, I'm Methodist Dave. I'm a professional theologian and Bible teacher. And today we are working our way through the book of Genesis. And we come to chapter 34, to a rather sordid tale. You know, professor that I used to listen to, Dr. Harold Wilmington, you'd had a saying, and I'll paraphrase it this way. If you wanted to write the Bible, you couldn't. You're not capable. But if you could write the Bible, you wouldn't. At least not the way it's written. Because there's a lot of stuff in here that is not very flattering to the hearers of the Bible. And this is one of them circumstances here where this does not look good for God's people. And in chapter 34, Jacob and his family have moved into the land of Canaan. They've left their father-in-law, his father-in-law, back in the land of Haran, and he's back in the land of Canaan. And they set up next to a city, the Hivites. And Jacob, we're told, has a daughter. This is chapter 34, and she's going to visit the women of the city. They're nearby. His camp is outside the city, and his daughter Dinah wants to come in, and she wants to hang out with other girls, which is perfectly natural to be around women her own age, to socialize and things like that. While she's there, Shechem, the son of Hamor, the king of that city, sees her, and it tells us that he takes her for himself, violates her, to use the polite word. And then, after he's violated her, falls madly in love with her. As a sensitive topic, remembering what we're reading a text that is, in one sense, is always going to throw a spin. It's always going to tell from a certain perspective. It's from a cultural perspective at the time that women did not associate with men outside of their family, and they weren't left alone with men, and that if you wanted to be with a woman, you'd have to marry her. In order to marry her, you'd have to get the father's permission, and you'd have to pay a bride price. And only after all this long customs thing is done, there's a marriage ceremony. Are the two people allowed to be intimate together? There's no cultural, like today, people do it all the time, and we don't think anything of it. But in this culture, even today, under Islamic cultures and almost all Islamic cultures, a girl who has been with a man that she is not married to stands a great chance of being unalived by her family. Her family will do it. Honor killing. And there's not a whole lot of difference between this time, too. This is an atrocious thing. Now, the text says he violated her. But we are reading from the culture's perspective that this is our woman, and you've lain with her, you've violated her. We really don't know exactly what happened, and I don't want to whitewash it or make it anything that it's not. What the interesting thing is that he is in love with her. After he's with her, he falls madly in love with her, and he speaks tenderly and romantically to her. So this may be, I'm not saying it is, it may be a case where a young man seduced a young woman, coerced her, probably, into doing something that she knew was wrong, because grape, I guess I have to use these words because I don't want to get shut down, is not about sex. It's about power. It's abuse. It's not loving. But he's in love with her. He's been with her, and he's in love with her. So I think this could be some young people who got their hormones fired up and jumped the gun, jumped the broom, so to speak. Then, now Jacob is angry because you took my daughter without my permission, without my consent. Women are possessions in this culture. He's angry. He doesn't say anything until the brothers are out tending the sheep and cattle. They come in, they hear it, they're furious. But Shechem has his father send a message to Jacob, says, I want to marry her. And I don't care what the bride price is, because you would exchange gifts for a woman, because it's not you're buying a woman. You're not buying a woman, but his tribe is losing her labor. So you're compensating them for the loss of the labor, of the loss of the things that she brought to their community. So this is why gifts were exchanged. There would be a dowry and there would be money given, and that would be hers to keep, because should anything ever happen, that dowry was for the bride. That would be to support her in the loss of her future husband. So Shechem says, whatever the bride price is, I'll pay it. Hamor says, whatever the bride price is, we'll pay it. I don't care. Now, two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, set up a plan. And they privately come to the king. And the son wants this girl. And daddy gives son whatever son wants. He says, look, this is our cultural thing here. It's repulsive for a man who's uncircumcised to be with our women. Look, we don't mind if you take our sister for wife, but you'll have to be circumcised to be like us. And Hamor comes back to the city and he says, look, this is the deal. My son wants to marry this girl, but there's a catch. We all have to get circumcised. And I find this is something very interesting if we drop down to verse 23. If we do so, won't their livestock, their property, and all their animals become ours? So let's consent to their demand so that they may live among us. You also see a predatory nature among the people of Hamor's people here, that they're looking to get something out of it too. Shechem saw something he wanted and took it. And the people see something they want, they're going to take it. But Simeon and Levi have a plan. All the men agree to get circumcised. And after a couple days, everybody is a little sore, infected, not at their best. And Simeon and Levi descend upon this village, town. I call it a town. It's probably more of a village. Maybe not more than 50 people. Probably a small community. But all the men are unable to defend themselves because they're in pain. And Simeon and Levi come through and wipe out the male population. They take the stock, the cattle, the possessions, the children, the women. They plunder the people of Shechem. And Jacob is horrified. You have made me a foul stench in their nostrils, he says. The people will all band together and they will overcome me. So even my own security forces and you guys, we won't be able to defend ourselves against all these people if they gather together. Simeon and Levi will be punished. They will be cut out of the succession for the promised Messiah. They will be disqualified, which means the fourth in line, Judah, it will be through his line that the Messiah will come. But you see here, this tells us that this text is true, because this is a terrible story. Why would you write this about your founders? The horrible things that they did, unless it actually happened. And you can see that the anger and the resentment looking at Dinah like she's a piece of property. I think that gets lost in the story here. That Dinah's sense of worth is taken from her because we don't know what she wants. At the time of this attack, she is living in Shechem's house. Perhaps she consented to this marriage. Perhaps this was something that she wanted for herself. We'll never know because it doesn't tell us. So it's always important to be careful when you read a story like this, that we don't insert our values into it. She may have been a victim through and through. I don't ever want anyone to think that she was a willing participant, but she might have been, but she might not have been. We don't know, so let's not leap to any assumptions. Please, my friends, if the Bible doesn't tell you it happened, then don't make stuff up. That's for fictional stories. We take it as it comes. And this behavior of the two brothers was not a good thing and did not have a positive outcome. And it caused the whole family to flee the area and hide someplace else because it gave them a bad name. Negative stories, I think, are a real indicator that what we're reading is true. Doesn't guarantee it's true, but it seems more likely than not. If you've got a question about this or any other subject, drop me an email, methodistdave@gmail.com. Until the next video, please be good to one another.